Hello, good morning and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapito Sibide. In our first story, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has downplayed suggestions that the proposed 1.75% levy on electronic transactions will further marginalize the poor and defeat the digitalization drive. Finance Minister Keno Foyerata in the 2022 budget presented to Parliament announced the levy is a move to widen the tax net. This, when approved, will affect mobile money payments, bank transfers, merchant payments, and inward remittances. Addressing the Chartered Institute of Bankers National Conference, the Vice President said financial inclusion is no longer a dream, but a reality in Ghana, insisting that digitization drive will not fail.
We have really come very far in the area of financial inclusion, and this vehicle is available. For example, mobile money interoperability has been a huge success also because of the collaboration between banks, the Bank of Ghana, mobile network operators, fintechs, private sector, and other stakeholders. Today, financial inclusion through mobile money is no longer a dream. We are living it. We are steadily bridging the gap between the formal and informal sectors of the economy with over 19 million active mobile money users. Since its launch in 2018, the mobile money interoperability system has recorded exponential growth. The central bank estimates that between 2019 and 2020, it recorded 365% growth in volume and 651% growth in value. And we will see more, and we look forward to the launch of the bank-wide mobile wallet to reinforce this. Now more than ever, it has become increasingly urgent to bridge the digital divide as we look to build a more resilient economy. I am happy to say that the government is committed to championing this cause and remains at the forefront of implementing these initiatives. The evolution of Ghana's banking industry has been phenomenal, with the journey to digital financial sector beginning more than 2 decades ago.
Withdraw the statements announcing the cessation of road tolls. That is an order from Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbon directed at the Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amwako-Atta. Now, the Road Minister on Wednesday night directed the cessation of road tolls following the Finance Minister's announcement that road tolls will be abolished after parliamentary approval of the 2022 budget. Alban Bagbon said the Road Minister has no such power.
It's for us to draw his attention and tell him that you have no such authority. In spite of all the legal and linguistic gymnastics that have been displayed, it is very clear that what the minister sought to do, he has no such authority to do that. It's not a matter of operationalization of the law. There is no such law for him to operationalize. There is no such law. The law we have now has imposed the fees that they have been collecting. So it's being implemented. It's not like it's something you are going to now start. And so I want to clearly direct that what the minister has released is complete brutal fulming. It means it's an empty boast. It has no effect. If it is true, you all know that on financial issues, when there is a need for it to be an emergency, a legislation is brought, immediately the budget is presented, and we are asked to pass it through the process of what? Certificate of agency.
The National Health Insurance Authority says its data shows they can fund childhood cancers and other expensive treatments, including family planning and sickle cell disease. This has been pressure from prominent Ghanaians, including First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo, to add child cancer to the services provided. According to an actuarial study done by authority, this will, however, limit their ability to roll on more new services. The board chairman of the authority, Dr. Ernest Kwaku also says they will go after institutions that charge patients despite having health insurance. My colleague Kwaku Asante has more in this report.
According to board chairman of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Enes Kwaku, the National Health Insurance is very sustainable and will continue to be guided by data in their decision making.
The scheme is sustainable. As you will soon hear presenters put forward, our decisions respond to data analytics and actuarial projections, and we do not make reckless decisions. We want to assure all our stakeholders that we will continue to make decisions that are responsive to sustainability.
Dr. Enes Kwaku explained that stopping illegal payments under the scheme will be of immense benefit to both the scheme and subscribers.
The illegal payments that are made by our members that visit credentialed facilities, and even though they are insured services and insured packages, and yet providers demand payment from them, I formed a special purpose vehicle just to deal with this.
Speaking at the same event as part of the NHIS Week celebration, Chief Executive Officer Dr. Lydia Selby noted that the scheme was in good standing and have been making surpluses for 4 years in a row.
We've been in surplus for 4 years and it keeps rising. We are in good standing. Our GDP is going up. But additions and changes in our benefit package has an implication for the green, and we must do it step by step in an evidence-based way.
She continued that the goal of universal health coverage is still achievable.
The NHIS is the cardinal instrument to provide health care to all residents in Ghana. We are the vehicle and road on which UHC is going to drive. Our digitization momentum to increase our membership and expand availability of health care services is on course. UHC by 2030 is not a mirage. It is achievable.
According to Deputy Director of the authority, Magnus Owusu-Agyman, actuarial studies conducted shows that childhood cancers and a few other expensive treatments can be rolled onto the scheme and will, however, limit the authority's ability to introduce more services.
After adding the 3 new treatments, that's childhood cancer, family planning, and sickle cell, we'll have less capacity to fund further inclusions.
Parliament's Works and Housing Committee is making a strong case for government to immediately provide a solution to the perennial tidal waves that continue to pound some communities along the coastline of the Volta region. After touring some of the affected communities with members of the committee, the chairman, Isaac Asiama, described the situation as a national emergency that requires national attention.
And this office for an immediate action to be taken. This calls for a national emergency. I mean, for me, it's a national emergency, and that an action needs to be taken quickly. From all the 3 places we visit today, this place seems to be the hardest hit by this tidal wave, and so therefore we need to quickly act on it. As I said, Parliament has sent us. Our job is to make the findings, the observations, the recommendations to Parliament for action to be taken on those recommendations. Immediate action, of course. So we are going to write a comprehensive report that covers all that we've seen and we've observed from this trip. And it's been a wonderful experience for some of us. Driving through this sandy place, you could all observe the difficulty we have to go through. So I can assure you, honorable members that joined us from these communities, that this committee is concerned about the plight of your people, or the people of Ghana. We are all Ghanaians. We are going to do whatever it takes to ensure that it receives a national priority, a national attention. That is what we can assure you. So immediately we are going to put up a comprehensive report.
Many of the residents say the construction of a sea defense along the coastline of the region is the solution. But CEO of the Hydrological Services Department, Hubert Osewusu-Ansah, says that will be a capital-intensive approach, hence other options should be considered.
You know, studies have to be carried out. Sea defense, we have various structures, you know, yeah. So until we undertake studies to know whether, you know, there's the need for the construction of sea defense, and even in that case, what type of sea defense structures. We cannot confirm most of these sayings. But I would like to say that it's capital intensive, you know, and from what we have learned, until we get measures to recoup the investments we make, it will be very difficult to implement sea defense systems in most parts of our country.
So what's the best option now? Because we seem to be losing a lot of our communities along the coastline to the tidal waves. So do we lose the communities and the people relocate, or we do this which is capital intensive, as you say?
Well, we should, as much as possible, try not to lose. You see, there is a need for the implementation of sea defense systems. But as I said, you know, it's capital intensive, and it's very difficult to look for the money, because we must admit the fact that money is needed to solve many problems, not only problems associated with tidal waves. You see, government has put in a lot of money to implement these systems over the years, various governments, and successive governments have continued works executed by previous governments. Yes, but in all, it's capital intensive. We put in a lot of money. Do we put in the money to protect? And that is it, which will mean we always have to look for money to protect. So I think it's come to the time where we put in money, and then we should also look at means of using the systems to get more money, so that we can use the.
And that's how we end the AM News. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Mapita CBD.